been searching for memories in my mind of me and you, looking for answers, hoping for clues. Did I know you? Did you love me? How did you break away so easily? You never brought me flowers. You never wrote me a song. You never took me dancing all night long.
Hi, my name's Tracy Yared. I work here at the beautiful Soapbox Gallery as administration, artist liaison, and also sometimes performer. Click on that link. Just give us any amount that you think. We've all got to survive. Hashtag keeping music alive. Don't go and break your bank, but we will say thanks, yeah, if you click on the link. And you could also go and get a drink while you are tuning into the Soapbox Gallery, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Diada. I am the head of the delegation of the Government of Catalonia to the US and Canada, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on the online celebration of the Catalonia National Day 2020. Bona tarda a tothom, em dic Isidre Sala, soc el delegat del Govern de la Generalitat als Estats Units i al Canadà, i és un honor donar-vos la benvinguda a la Diada virtual de Catalunya 2020. September the 11th is the National Day of Catalonia. For Catalans, it's a day of remembrance and purpose. It's a day when we renew our commitment with the values of freedom. It's a day when we remember what we have been, what we are, and what we will be, a people, Catalan nation. But we are fully aware that also it's a special day in America. September the 11th is the day where you suffered terrible terrorist attacks almost 20 years ago in this city, in New York, but also in DC. That's why yesterday we paused to remind those who perished and suffered during these terrible attacks, and we are celebrating our National Day today. This year, however, this year is also very special, Diada, for several reasons, mainly two. First of all, Catalonia is still facing a situation far from ideal, and we are still experiencing challenging times. However, most Catalans are completely attached and have persisted to show their commitment with the values of democracy, justice, human rights, and their attachment to the idea of dialogue to find solutions to political problems. This year, 2020, is going to be also remembered by the year of the global pandemics. Catalonia, US, and Canada have been hit hard by this coronavirus, and today we are also remembering those who perish and suffer because of this sanitary crisis. And we also would like to express our immense gratitude to these first responders, those people who have been working hard night and day to help us to save lives. We will never be able to express our gratitude enough. For this reason, this year, 2020, we are dedicating the Diada, Festa Nacional de Catalunya, to mainly two of the sectors have been hurt because of this crisis. First, cultural sector. Artists, musicians, actors and actresses have been facing severe difficulties to do the jobs because of the economic slowdown and the compulsory social distancing. It's becoming very difficult for them to perform, to pursue existing projects, and to even promote new. This is catastrophic. For us, it's very clear that culture is also an essential sector. And that's why today we invited some representatives of the culture from Catalonia, that they are US-based and they are performing a career here. We will hear some musical pieces and we will hear also some poems from Catalan authors. There is also another sector that has been working very hard these last few months. Scientists, researchers, professionals that have been working specifically to find solutions to this crisis. People who've been working night and day to find a vaccine, to find treatments, or to develop solutions for the problems that is creating, COVID-19 is creating to us. Some of these experts are Catalan and also doing an amazing job here in the US. So we asked them to join us by video and to explain what we do, to also express to them our immense gratitude. You do an amazing job. Thank you. So I would like to finish these welcoming remarks to thank everybody who has made this possible, starting from our host, Jimmy Greenfield and David from this amazing venue, the Soapbox Gallery. Our artists today, Eva Novoa, Oscar Peñas and Dan Loomis, Albert Marquez, who was also our curator, and Salim Khan. Thank you very much. And also our scientists and professionals, Josep Baselga, Anna Rivière, Brian Subirana, Marc Margalef, Marc Reguant, Òscar Jordà, and Regina Campa. Keep on, guys. And all the workmates from the delegation and from Instituto Ramon Llull who made possible what we are doing right now, today. So let me introduce a short video from the Minister of Foreign Action, Institutional Relations and Transparency from the Catalan government, special address to celebrate this 2020 Catalonia National Day.
En nom del Departament d'Acció Exterior, Relacions Institucionals i Transparència del Govern de la Generalitat, volem desitjar-vos una molt bona Diada Nacional de Catalunya. En primer lloc, permeteu-me traslladar un agraïment als més de 330.000 catalans d'arreu del món que conformeu aquestes 140 comunitats en 34 països diferents, per explicar Catalunya dia rere dia arreu del món. La Diada Nacional de Catalunya també ha de ser motiu per a renovar els nostres compromisos. El nostre compromís amb el país, amb la llengua, amb la cultura, amb la nostra història. Un compromís també amb la democràcia i els valors humans. I finalment, en els moments complexos que vivim, un compromís amb el futur. Des del Departament d'Acció Exterior, Relacions Institucionals i Transparència, tenim molt clar que ens hem d'explicar al món. Ho hem de fer d'una forma global i també ho hem de fer més i millor. Per tant, des del Govern de la Generalitat, desitjar-vos una molt bona Diada Nacional de Catalunya.
M'agradaria desitjar una molt bona Diada Nacional de Catalunya a tots els catalans que viuen als Estats Units i al Canadà i als amics de Catalunya, una abraçada molt especial a tota la xarxa de casals catalans de Nord-Amèrica i en especial una felicitació al Catalan Institute of America, que aquest any celebra el centenari. I a tots els catalans, lògicament, que ens escolteu des de Catalunya i seguiu aquesta jornada amb tots nosaltres. A tots vosaltres, molt bona Diada 2020. Now let me introduce you Maria Fontanals, who is going to be the conductor of our event today. Maria is one of the examples of Catalan talent exported to the USA. Maria is an actress and a faculty member of the prestigious HB Studio, where she teaches the Uta Hagen's technique. She is also a member of the Artistic Council and co-founder of an independent theater and audiovisual company based in New York. Maria has been working in a big number of projects in TV and film and has received an impressive number of awards. Maria, congratulations for your spectacular career. Keep on. And thank you for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Salas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Isidre Salas, our head of the delegation of the Catalonia to the United States. So, good afternoon, everyone who is following us live streaming from all over the world, and thank you, Soapbox Gallery, for hosting us. Welcome to La Diada in North America. It is a great honor to be your host in this event. So, sit back, relax, and have a wonderful time. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the renowned Catalan pianist Eva Novoa, a bold and restless pianist, according to the Downbeat magazine. Eva was born in Barcelona. She spent 7 years in the Netherlands before moving to Brooklyn, where she's currently based for 8 years now. Eva was classically trained and then studied jazz. She has released 5 albums as a leader on the label Fresh Sound New Talent. She has got great reviews internationally. Her latest album, recorded in Miami, Satellite Quartet, was released in March 2020. Eva will play the following pieces: Black Coffee by Paul Francis Webster and Sonny Burke, Rocket Man by Eva Novoa, No F Train by Eva Novoa. Eva, the floor is yours. Thank you.
play is a brand new piece that's going to come out in my next album, and it's called Rocketman. Nothing to do with Elton John's Rocketman. I didn't even think about him when I wrote it, but I'll make it very short. I want to introduce it. So it's going to come out in my next album, trio album, with Drew Grace and Devin Gray, and it's about in gravity. I'll just leave it there, like being in outer space and zero gravity. Gracias. This one's dedicated to the F train. I I live there. It's called No F Train.
Thank you, Eva. That was delightful. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Now, we would like to pay tribute to a journalist and a writer who unfortunately passed away this year. I'm referring to Isabel Clara Simó, who is considered one of the most important Catalan writers. The poem I'm going to read, Tornar enrere, Rewind, is from her first book of poems published in 2009, Conjurar, Conjuring. The poem talks about coming back in time, where things remain in its essence of its existence, and where pain has no place. Tornar enrere, d'Isabel Clara Simó. La flama vol ser tronc i el riu anhela fer-se Déu. Els humans voldrien ascendir a l'úter calent que els va expulsar. El pa aspira a fer-se blat i la pluja, el núvol fosc que la condensa. I el mort no glateix secretament per estar viu? L'estàtua somia fer-se pedra i els colors del quadre tornarien de gust a la punta del pinzell. El perfum vol tornar a l'alambí i d'aquí a les flors frondoses que el destil·len. I tu i jo, que no volem tornar, oh dolor agut, al temps en què encara no ens havíem conegut. On that note, rewind. Who wouldn't go back in time? We are living in challenging and distressful times, but I'm pleased to introduce to you a few Catalan scientists living in the States who are on the front line stepping up to fight the pandemic. Of course, this is only a sample of the amazing work of a lot of Catalan scientists are currently doing in that field. After watching the video, I would like to give a very warm welcome to the legendary duo Oscar Peñas on guitar and Dan Loomis on bass. Oscar was born in Barcelona, a guitarist and composer. He has been part of New York's dynamic scene since 2007. Since his arrival to New York City, he has performed mostly original music as a leader of different projects, ranging from duo to octet. Oscar, who has released 5 albums of his own, has been fortunate enough to share the stage or studio recording with jazz legends such as Ron Carter, Paquito de Rivera, Gil Goldstein, and Esperanza Spalding. He has played at the Kennedy Center, the White House in DC, Jazz at Lincoln Center, BAM's Next Wave Festival, and the Blue Note in New York City. Dan Loomis, with more than a decade of performing experience since moving to New York City, he has emerged as a daring leader, a sought-after sideman, appearing on nearly a dozen recordings with the Dan Loomis Quartet and with bands he co-leads, including the collectives The Wee Trio and Spoke. He recently formed an ensemble called Revolutions that uses its music to explore the Haitian and Bolivarian uprisings. They will delight us with 2 original songs. The first one, Carefully, is a song dedicated to and inspired by the late Jim Hall and Valsa, an optimistic waltz written during the early days of the pandemic based on the eponymous early Brazilian popular music genre. Dan and Oscar will be joined by longtime friend and pianist Albert Marquez in a rendition of Ítaca, a well-known song by the iconic Catalan composer Lluís Llach. Enjoy the video and the performances.
Hello, everybody. My name is Josep Baselga. I am from Barcelona and a medical oncologist, and I'm currently the Executive Vice President for Oncology Research and Development at AstraZeneca. These are very challenging times. At AstraZeneca, we have focused full-blown in developing therapies for patients with COVID-19. We are in advanced phases to develop the vaccine. We have a number of phase 3 studies around the world, including in the US. And also we are developing antibodies for patients that cannot be vaccinated. And then finally, we are developing a new drug that is helping those patients that are quite sick with pneumonia, that are short of breath, and we're very hopeful that this drug will improve the survival if the studies are positive. I've never been proudest to be in the field of medicine when the amount of effort and the response that we have had to solve this pandemic has been absolutely stellar.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Riviere-Cinnamon. I was born in Barcelona. And I'm working at the Pan-American Health Organization, World Health Organization, which is the regional office of WHO here in the Americas. And my position is as an epidemiologist. I'm working on the COVID response. So basically, what I'm doing in the epidemic intelligence pillars of the response to the COVID epidemic is to try to collect information from the countries about the cases and deaths of COVID. And what we do is to analyze, do some epi-analysis, some modeling, to do forecasting, and try to identify the trends of the disease, the characteristics of the people who are having COVID and those who are dying from COVID, and try to identify which would be the most adequate measures or actions that you would implement in the field in order to try to contain the disease as soon as possible.
I'm Mar Margalef, and I was born in Tarragona, Catalonia, and I've been a postdoc in the University of Stanford in California. I've been involved with the basic science project related to the COVID-19, and we've been investigating which cells are targeted by the virus. So we use a really cool model that it's a lung organoid, and it's a mini lung, and we can infect it with the virus and see what happens next.
My name is Brian Subirana. I was born in Barcelona, and I'm director of the MIT AutoID lab, and I'm also at the faculty at Harvard University. The research that we do in the laboratory towards helping COVID-19 is basically diagnostic based on coughs. And we just proved that if you cough on a regular phone, we can detect the whether you are COVID positive or COVID negative with 98.5% accuracy. And if you are asymptomatic, we've reached thresholds of 100%. And we are now working with a couple of companies and governments to try and see if our pre-screening diagnostic tool can help manage the pandemic.
Thank you. I would like to introduce our friend Albert Marquez, who curated this series, and we're gonna play a song that is very well known in Catalonia, at least for my parents' generation, and I think Albert's mother generation knows it pretty well, but probably many young people as well. So I think that when we were introduced, they mentioned the title, but I won't mention it now. So, 1, 2, 1.
Thank you very much, Albert, Oscar, y Dan. That's been very, very moving. Thank you so much. It actually, Ítaca, Lluís Llach, it brought me memories from home, Catalonia. And it's like being an immigrant, it's not easy, and it entails lots of challenges. The Moroccan Catalan writer, Najat El Hashmi, knows it very well. She was born in Morocco and moved with her family to Catalonia at the age of 8. She has a degree in Arab studies from the University of Barcelona and has published one non-fiction book, Jo també soc catalana, I'm also Catalan, and 3 novels, L'últim patriarca, The Last Patriarch, which won the 2008 Ramon Llull Prize, La caçadora de cossos, The Body Hunter, and La filla estrangera, The Foreign Daughter, which won the 2015 Ciutat de Barcelona Prize for the best work of Catalan. I'm pleased to read an excerpt of one of her stories, short stories, The Sound of Keys. The Sound of Keys by Najat El Hashmi. My sister and I came to live in Barcelona. We'd often visited the city and been fascinated by the bustling streets, the crowds, the metro doors when they shut, the noise, the shops we entered and exited without anyone saying a word. Everything seemed to give off cheerfulness that was also perhaps ours, being away from the neighborhood where we'd grown up, which was several blocks of flats built around a small square. We spent summer afternoons in that square. Our small world was on the town outskirts, in the middle of the fields that were in the undulating green in spring. I'd often while away the time watching the swaying ears of corn from the flat we shared on the 7th floor of our red brick block. When it was almost summer and the humid heat clung to our skin, that green changed into a dazzling sea of gold, but the reapers soon arrived. Then the fields became barren wastes, and I'd feel a strange lump in my throat. My sister did too. She didn't tell me, but I knew. I'd stand by the window and I asked her, "Don't you think this is a sad time of year?" And stretched out on her bed, she'd not look up from the book she was reading, but would say, "Sadness is supposed to be autumnal." But she felt the same heaviness on her chest that wouldn't let us breathe. Now and then, she too sighed deeply. We came to the city at the start of summer. "Nena!" My sister called me Nena. "It's so hot here." On the whole journey in the train, clinging to our suitcases' handles, we kept handing the keys to the flat back and forth, making a clatter that Mother hated. She said it would bring bad luck, quarrels. But we'd left home to see the back of the ridiculous rules like those she and Father imposed. The flat had 2 rooms with a couple of windows that looked over a narrow yard, though there was some light because it wasn't a very tall building. The deafening din from Meridiana and Carrer Aragó was quite subdued by the time it reached us. And although we didn't have a door out to Passatge Vintró, inside the flat, we could smell the chlorine from the Vintró Sports Center. When we walked into the flat, we left our cases in the entrance and walked around. We'd throw our arms in the air as if we had rented a mansion. We jumped and laughed and felt a tickle in our tummies and throats. We looked at each other and clasped hands. We spent ages acting foolishly like that, but ours really had been a silent revolution. From then on, we alone would decide what and how we wanted to live. There was one mattress, nothing else. For the moment, we put it in the space that should have been the dining room. We mainly brought clothing with us from home. My sister had also brought books that weighed a ton. I tried to persuade her not to. She said, "No, nobody at our parents would read them." We had already started to say at our parents. And it was true. We were 7 brothers and sisters, and she was the only one who liked books. Come on, let's go out, I said. Shh, shouldn't we put our clothes away? I persuaded her that we could do that later. I was sure that if we open our cases, we start talking about our parents, brothers and sister, about the only girl whom we'd left behind because she was too young and we couldn't wait until she came of age. Then we'd feel remorse. All the remorse we'd been feeling since we decided months ago that we had no choice but to leave. We were sick of that square surrounded by blocks of flats, of the boys who chased us down the street, and if we didn't take any notice of them, threatened to spread nasty gossip about us. I didn't know how to keep quiet about my dates with the boys I did like. My sister didn't have that problem. She believed in love, in finding someone she'd understand as if they'd known each other forever, like a missing half, she'd tell me. I told her such a thing didn't exist, and the idea probably come from the upbringing we'd had, that it was a way to justify obeying the rule about staying a virgin until you married. She said that wasn't the case. It came from the books she'd read. What a pity, I insisted. You are missing out on such a lot. Love comes with practice. But it was to no avail. I never did change her mind. I hope you enjoy that piece. I really love that piece because Najat explores the richness and complexities of growing up in two different cultures simultaneously. Now, we are going to watch the work of some more dedicated Catalan scientists whose work to find the best cure to treat COVID-19 fill us with awe. After we watch the video, we will enjoy our final and last, but not least, musical performance by the acclaimed Albert Marquès and Salim Cas. Albert is a Catalan pianist and composer who currently resides in Brooklyn, where she's been flourishing in the New York jazz scene after a successful stint in Paris. Marquès plays contemporary piano with a distinctive urban feel, unique and profoundly percussive, a mix that has led him to be part of several jazz projects with drummers such as Leon Parker and Ari Hoyne. He has also collaborated with the legendary Latin jazz composer Arturo O'Farrill. Salim Mohammed is a tabla and oleg player who has worked recording industry in Lahore, Pakistan, and Bombay, India. He has toured throughout Asia and the United States. Some artists he has performed include Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Madame Noor Jahan, and Mehdi Hassan. Well, sorry if I mispronounce or butchered these names, I'm really sorry. And for this event, Albert and Salim will mix the sounds of the Brooklyn contemporary jazz scene with flamenco music from Pakistan and European classical music. Enjoy.
My name is Oscar Jordà. I was born in Barcelona. In fact, I lived right behind this beautiful building when I grew up. This is Hospital Sant Pau in Barcelona, and I just lived a couple streets up. And when I was a little boy, this was sort of the view that I had from the top of the street. I work for the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco as a senior policy advisor, and I also work for the University of California, Davis as a professor of economics. What I specialize in is in thinking about the day after COVID-19 ends. And that is less obvious. And one of the things that I did was try to think about what playbook could we pull from to try to understand what economies would look like once the fight against COVID-19 is over. I was also fortunate to be involved in the Rockefeller Foundation in a project that investigated how could testing basically help get the economy back on track. And the idea was how many tests would be needed, who should be tested, and under what conditions could a national testing program be implemented so that everybody could go back to work and basically manage the risk of getting COVID-19 by tracking appropriately those who got infected and testing for individuals that may not show any symptoms, et cetera, et cetera. All the things that we've come to learn, unfortunately, since the start of the outbreak.
Hi, my name is Mar Rawan, and I'm an associate professor at Northwestern University. I was born in a small mining town in the heart of Catalonia. I am an economist, and I teach energy economics to the students at Northwestern. Since COVID started, I've been researching how to think about energy markets and COVID at the same time. This is a moment in which energy consumption has gone down, especially at the height of lockdowns, but it's unclear what's going to happen going forward. So in my research, I try to think what's the impact of COVID now in the short run, but what's the impact of COVID as we move forward. Our worry is that COVID will delay necessary investments in the energy sector to move the green transition along. So part of my work is research, and part of my work is also talking to companies and governments to keep pushing the green energy agenda, just to make sure that COVID doesn't delay this necessary transformation.
Hi, my name is Regina Campa. I'm from Barcelona, and I work as advisor in partnerships at the Pan-American Health Organization, the regional office for the Americas of the World Health Organization. My specific role as part of the response of PAHO to the COVID-19 epidemic focuses on fostering partnerships with the private sector, with foundations, with universities and NGOs to provide a more effective response altogether. We are convinced that given the magnitude of this pandemic, we need actors of all different natures to be able to collaborate. We have alliances with private sector companies to be sure that information that is provided online is reliable. We have partnerships with foundations that they're providing funding so we can more effectively support our member states. And we have also alliances with universities because they have a knowledge in epidemics that it's really more advanced than others. So we're benefited of having all these relationships and working together, as there is no one that can really respond by itself to this magnitude of an event.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching this concert. We are celebrating today La Diada, the National Day of Catalonia. And Catalanness, as any identity, I think it's much more complex than what it seems. And as you heard before, for example, you can have Catalan writer with Moroccan origins writing something beautiful, as you just heard. We're going now to play nonstop for 15 minutes, more or less, and I do not know what will happen. What I do know is that a wonderful musician from Pakistan, Salim, who lives in Brooklyn, in fact, we are neighbors, and a Catalan-American piano player are going to play. In Catalan, we say tocar. I prefer play, jugar, together with our own identities and backgrounds. I hope you enjoy it.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So, lastly, let's watch the last video of the Catalan scientist celebrating La Diada with us. I want to thank you all for being virtually with us in this special day for Catalonia, and to the artists who shared their stunning work with us today. Thank you so much. I want to thank you, Jimmy and David, from Soapbox Gallery. And I want to thank you also to all the Catalan scientists who are working fiercely against COVID-19. Thank you, Hilary Garner and Amy Joy, for helping put this event on. Feliç Diada a tots els catalans, especialment els que viuen als Estats Units i al Canadà. Moltíssimes gràcies.
I would like to send my best regards to Catalans living here in the United States and abroad in celebration of our National Day, la Diada. M'agradaria enviar una forta abraçada als catalans que vivim als Estats Units i repartits arreu del món en celebració de la nostra Diada, del nostre Dia Nacional. Gràcies.
I hope you will join us in celebrating our National Day. We always celebrate it with a lot of pride. Que tingueu tots una bona Diada.
That I wish all Catalans around the world, all Catalans in Catalonia, and all residents in Catalonia a very happy Diada. Voldria desitjar a tothom una bona Diada, sobretot en aquests temps tan difícils que tenim i diguéssim, tindre una Diada a uns abraços potser distanciats, però almenys mentalment molt forts. Bona Diada a tothom.
Okay, so I wish you a happy 2020 Diada to all of you. Us desitjo una molt bona Diada a tots.
Finally, to send a message of celebration to all the Catalans around the world, and especially the ones living in San Francisco. I bé, també vull desitjar una Diada a tots els catalans que estan arreu del món, en especial els de la Bahia de San Francisco i també a la meva família i amics que viuen a Catalunya.
This is the work that we do, and we would like to say hi to all the Catalans that are living in the US and Canada for this National Day. I moltes felicitats per aquest dia. Espero que tots estiguin molt bé.
To all of you, to all the Catalans around the world and in the Americas, to all the friends of Catalonia, I would like to wish you a very, very happy National Day. A tots els catalans i a tots els amics de Catalunya que m'estigueu escoltant, arreu d'Amèrica, Nord-Amèrica, Canadà, allà on estigueu, us vull desitjar un molt bon dia nacional de Catalunya, una gran Diada. Tenim molts motius pels quals ens sentim orgullosos. Un gran passat, un present absolutament excitant i un futur ple d'aventura i ple de promeses. A tots, que passeu un gran dia i visca Catalunya.
All right, so we come to the end of this event. We hope you have enjoyed. It was the online celebration of the Catalan National Day. And I'd like first to thank again to everyone. Thanks especially Maria for your outstanding management of today's event and for the impressive reading of the pieces of Isabel Clara Simó and Najat El Hamshi, that by the way was translated by Peter Bush. So thanks, Peter, to you as well. And of course, thanks again to these amazing artists. We promise you that you will hear small samples of artists and scientists from Catalonia that they are doing an outstanding job here in the US. And I think, and I hope you agree, that they do something wonderful. So we enjoyed, and we enjoyed so much that I'm pleased to announce here that this is not going to be an isolated event, so we will continue working hard to promote the job of these artists and scientists from Catalonia here in the US and Canada as well, and we are going to develop new initiatives to make the job even more visible, and also to promote partnerships with American and Canadian counterparts, because we are fully convinced that this is a win-win situation. So thanks very much also to the audience that follow this event online. We understand that it's not the same following an event online that following live, but that's the world nowadays. So thanks again, and hope you have enjoyed. I'm not going to say see you next year, because you will hear from us much sooner and many times during this year, between this National Day and next year. But I really wish that next year this situation will be overcome and we will come back to some sense of normality. Thanks again. Bona Diada a tothom, bon cap de setmana de la Diada Nacional de Catalunya, and see you very soon. Thank you.
I've been searching for memories in my mind of me and you. Look